about the HR1 is we're granting voting rights to 22 million immigrants who are in our country now. It's just like, and the same thing with the filibuster, DC, and the Supreme Court thing. You just have a lot of policies that like you just ask you want to ask these politicians on a lie detector test, if those 22 million were going to vote red, would you support this? Because that's a lot of 22 million votes. It's a lot of people.
It's less a lot, yeah.
Yeah. So, and we get into the immigration conversation because part of this power grab we see is the fact that we have this huge crisis on the border. Joe Biden actually had a great moment in his speech the other day where he said that we need to fix it.
And that's all he said. And then he got an applause.
Yeah, and then everyone exploded because we need to fix the crisis at the border.
Yeah.
There's no actual plan, and ICE is being completely kind of like taken apart, who are usually in charge of this.
Yeah, and there's actually literally no plan, and no plan to a point where he's actually getting
backlash from the left.
Backlash from the left.
Yeah.
So he's getting backlash from the right for rolling back the Trump era policies that obviously Trump has made.
Which was remain in Mexico. Like no catch and release. So when you took someone at the border, you made them wait in Mexico for them to come across when they got their court date and everything. You had no catch and release. So right now the policy is that if you catch someone crossing the border, you literally just let them go into America.
Yeah. And then so he's rolled all those policies back, but then he has done nothing to roll forward, any bills to roll forward, and that's where he's getting backlash from the left. He also is getting backlash for not removing of Title 42. Which you could expel any immigrant under any circumstance out of the U.S.
And you have people from MS-13 who are getting in. You have people who are people getting raped at the border. People assault charges. You have a lot of dead girls in the river when the senators went to visit. You have a lot of bad things going on there.
Yeah.
But he's not using that action.
Yeah, and then another thing he's been receiving backlash for was he kept the cap of the refugee. What would you call them?
The refugee cap.
And then at 15,000.
But he upped it.
When? Recently?
No, it was crazy. You didn't hear?
No.
He kept it, and then like AOC came out and she was like yelling about it, and he upped it like an hour later.
Oh no!
AOC was
I guess AOC's the one who's keeping him, who could get him in trouble.
Getting him in trouble, yeah. Because no, literally, he was like, "We're gonna keep the refugee cap where it is," and AOC was on Instagram like, "This is a disgrace. I can't do this." And then like an hour later, he was just like, "We're gonna raise the refugee cap." Or Psaki came out and said it or something. It was like instantaneous.
But for a while though, he wasn't raising it though.
Yeah, and until he announced it, and the left was like, "He's the worst president ever."
And he's
I wish we still
had
Donald Trump. And he was like, "Actually, let's just everybody, come on, we don't need other continents." And Mexico's pissed off about this too, by the way. Yeah, so just some numbers. And the best thing about Joe Biden is that he's not even acknowledging the fact that this is a thing in the first place.
Right.
He says this is cyclical. So, like, every year at this time, you just have 172,000 people per month pushing into America.
Yeah, which is completely false.
Completely false. You had 977,000 encounters at the end of 2019. And that was a year with a giant spike. There was a big high in 1 month 2019 where there was over 100,000 migrants. Yeah. It was a huge spike.
That was actually in February where there's more than 100,000, and then following March, this past March, 172,000.
Yeah, exactly. So 2019 was a bad year for the border. It was a big year for immigration. 977,000 at the end of the year. Right now, we're in May. We just started 570 plus thousand. Right. So we are going to destroy that number.
Yeah.